Hello, it's Father Francis, and this is a new look at Lent. It's Father Francis. Hello there, and welcome to the second Sunday in Lent. You know, in our gospel today, Jesus tells his disciples to get up and do not be afraid. Well, you know what? I think that's the key phrase that kind of locks all of the readings together. You see, in our first reading, God calls Abraham to be the father of a great many nations. And he basically tells him to get up and go. You know, go. You have to get up and you have to go sometimes. We're also told in the second reading that sometimes the gospel entails that we have to do some work. Ooh, sounds a little Pelagian to me. But really, when you stop and think about it, Christianity is not a spectator sport. It's not something for the passive. It's not something for the weak and timid. Christianity is a calling. And Jesus calls us to get up and not to be afraid. You know, when you stop and think about it, God probably, in many ways, maybe small, insignificant, almost imperceptible ways, is constantly, inviting us to go deeper. One of the beautiful Gospels is when Jesus is walking at night on the water, actually when he's been preaching at the shoreline there in Galilee. And finally, because the crowd is swelling to such a great extent of humanity, he has to kind of wade out into the water, and he climbs aboard Simon Peter's boat. And he basically, after he preaches from the boat as his first pulpit, then he kind of, after the crowd begins to, dwindle away, he turns to the disciples and says, hey, let's go out to the deeper water. And now, sometimes that's a very fearful thing. When God begins to, whisper into our souls, into the depths of our heart, that he wants us to go deeper. And the thing that always holds us back is a word called fear. I'll say it again, fear. There's an old saying, fear can stand for, it's an acronym for forget everything and run. Or it can also mean face everything and recover. Or face everything and repent. And so today, that's what the season of Lent is really all about, is for us to get up and not be fearful. Sometimes we do have to do a little bit of work. Maybe it's been a long time since we made a good confession. That scares a lot of people. What, me confess my sins? I don't think so. And yet, once a person does that, they find great healing and liberation. And they sense a sense of new freedom comes upon them and empowers them maybe to get up and do things that they never thought they could or even would. So on this second Sunday of Lent, hear the words of Jesus as if he's saying them to you. Get up and do not be afraid. Hey, this has been Father Francis, the Faith Guy, saying thanks for watching as we take a new look at Lent. See you next week.